Welcome to our webinar on how you're going to welcome your employees back to work in 15 minutes. We've been away from work for a while now, and people are slowly starting to get back. So we thought that us launching the Actimo Academy was a nice opportunity to show you how you can use that a little bit to work for getting people back. Today, we are gonna go through a few points. It's going to last about half an hour. We're going to be a little bit delayed now, sorry for that, but we are going to start out with just a very short introduction. We're going to tell you about the Academy principles, so what principles guided us in building the Academy. Then we're going to move on to telling you a little bit about the Actimo way and how to set up an Academy to welcome back your employees in 15 minutes. Some of the webinar is going to take place just on a slide deck like we are now, and another part is us logging into the platform, showing you a setup that you can use to welcome your employees back. Finally, we're gonna round it off nicely with a short conclusion, and we're gonna have a Q&A session. And as mentioned, you are very welcome to just post all the questions as you think about them during the webinar, and then we can always come back to them at the end. Let's get started with the introduction. Today, I am here. My name is Marie Skorpia, and I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager at Actimo. I'm here with my colleague, Melissa, who is also a Senior Customer Success Manager at Actimo.
Hi, everyone. Super happy to be here with you. Thanks a lot for joining.
Cool. And the reason why we're here today is, of course, that we have launched the Actimo Academy, and we're all very excited about it, and we are so excited to show you the first step of the way today. The Actimo Academy is pretty much a on-the-job trainer. It's tailored to your non-desk employees. It's providing you with the next level mobile learning. And the whole setup is really to merge all the training that you do digitally with your employees' flow of work. So why is the Academy going to make your life more effortless? Everyone who's in the platform building everything, and also for your employees. First up, of course, is the employees. Those are the people that we need to care about and make sure they are in the know at all times. The Academy is providing you with a very easy to follow learning path. And it's intuitive for your employees to where to start and where to go to complete all the trainings and get 100% in their progress. They are going to be guided through the webinars, and they're going to be guided through their completion. So there's a lot of information for them about where they're at. Next, the learning experiences are set up in a very engaging way. The learning should be fun, and it should be playful to extend your level of knowledge. So we have added a lot of gamification along the employee journey within every academy, so they know whenever they did something great, and whenever they need to go back and take another look at one of the trainings. For you, for the managers, for the CEOs in the other end, you will get all the actionable insights that you need from your employees' journeys throughout your academies. You will be able to track the entire learning paths. You will also be able to deep dive into department levels or compare progress across locations. So you will really get a lot of different levels of insights into the academies. And also, it's very easy, it's very flexible. So we made a lot of gamification go on, but the entire flow is yours. So you can really customize it to your employees and to your way of working. So you don't have to be a training expert. And also, you can easily migrate all the existing training that you have already. A lot of you is already working with training for your employees right now. So it's pretty much plug and play to move it into the Academy setup.
All right, before going a bit deeper into the platform and how a concrete example on how you can use the Academy to welcome your employees back to work, I'd like to take you through a few Academy principles that we've been working on to give you also some background on the learning principles that we selected and how they fit into your Actimo on-the-job trainer. The Academy relies on three main learning principles that are mobile learning, so that your non-desk employee can take it on the go. That is combined with a micro-learning approach, providing an easy path to knowledge for your employees that we finally chopped into multiple learning bites in order to adapt learning for your non-deskers that would fit their workflow. Let me take you through each principle and highlight some of the key characteristics that you can find for each of them. Regarding mobile training, we have some specific characteristics. First is just in time. So basically your employees can, or your non-deskers can take those learning whenever they want to. So it's really on demand and when it fits them. So really opposite to classroom trainings. It's also accessible. So not just, it's easy access because it's on their mobile and it's really everywhere. And when they want to. We also have the gamification, like Marie mentioned a bit earlier, that is really important to maintain interest. Remember, it's on the go. So we're going to need some entertaining module and features as well to make sure your employee keep doing the learning. It is also personal. That means for each learner, you want to have some custom fields to really catch your people's attention. And finally, it's social learning, enabling people to share with their colleagues that they took a specific training, for example, and also show that they have gained some extra knowledge and make their colleagues benefit from it, maybe. Taking all those mobile learning concepts and also applying it onto a micro-learning principle means that the learning path that will be on your employee's mobile will last maximum 15 minutes to enable that we merge this with your employee's workflow and have an engaging learning for your employees that also supports their performance. On top of this micro learning, we would gain more flexibility and try to increase attention of your non-deskers by bringing the micro learning bringing into the micro learning a bite-sized approach, basically where each bite is a small learning that lasts maximum 5 minutes and has one unique learning objective. One learning objective is maybe the objective of the first 2 minutes video here is simply to raise awareness. The second bite here might be a text to really give people understanding, while the third one here might be to really have a video that will change how people behave, so really impact their way of working. So each of those are specific learning objectives. And there is an entire theory around it. So I'll invite you to check out the link I've put in here and that you will receive in your slides when we send it to you after the session. And get to know a bit more about it. We are also working on a more theory-based session around learning that will take place later on this summer. So stay tuned for that one. And finally, regarding those bite-sized learning, it is very important that you bring in different materials to avoid making it too boring and too monotone in their micro-learning flow that they will go through. But at the same time, you also want to remain consistent, so have like a reference frame so that your employees know where they're going and kind of don't always, won't be confused each time they enter a new bite. So they're kind of like our similarities there. Now, let's translate this into Actimo, platform and semantics. Basically, if we take the Academy overview, one Academy would be their one micro-learning that lasts maximum 15 minutes. And it can be divided into sections where each section is actually a chapter that we can use to basically structure the different bites or called trainings on the platform. So each learning bite has also one objective here and takes maximum 5 minutes. Going into details, when you're going to set up your Academy as a backend user, you have some tools to really guide your employees and create a path on the learning that they're going to take. First off, you have the description. Really there, you can type in your employee, your training's purpose. Why are we doing this academy? And really describe to your employees what's in it for them. Then regarding the flow, you can use the settings of each academy to create a specific path for your employees, whether you want them to be able to access all the bytes in the way they want to, or to control the learning flow a bit further and kind of define that they should be able to maybe take one section at a time, for example. Finally, of course, you'll be able to send and publish those academies to only the relevant employees you want to target, so your non-deskers, and then you can also afterwards monitor their progress onto the platform. Last but not least, regarding the training bytes, so now we're really going into details. Remember, so you have different materials you can add, from videos, GIF, infographic, pictures, to short text. Remember to vary the material, yet also to keep it somehow consistent to avoid you losing your non-deskers. Then we also recommend you to keep it on one page because so for each training you would have only for each training byte you would have only one page. That means maybe have people scrolling a bit down, which is also okay. We're in a mobile scrolling environment. And at the same time, it's a good way to keep it simple for your employee. Remember, we don't want to have something that lasts more than 5 minutes, so have them go to another page might be confusing, and you might lose this path, feeling and flow for your employees. Finally, at the end of each byte, you want to have a confirm button or a quiz so that your employees can confirm they completed the training. So that's really what's going to measure your employees' progress for each training.
Cool. So I think I'm going to take you a little bit further down the deep, and let's actually log into the platform and take a look at how all these principles and this method actually applies in there. Good. So as you can see, I have a new menu icon to the left of in my platform that is called Academy. And in here, I will be able to structure all the academies that I need for my employees. Right now, I have an academy already made to welcome back my employees to work, which is what this session is all about. The whole training part and learning part about the academy is going to start next week. So this is really just about showing you how you can create the setup, what it looks like, what the end product looks like, and then all the details is going to come later. When I click on an academy, I will get access to everything Melissa just mentioned in her walkthrough. First up, the very important details. When I click the details, this is really where I frame the academy for my employees. This is where I point them in the right direction and where I ensure that they know exactly what is expected of them. Of course, there is the title, there is the cover photo, and there is the description that Melissa mentioned as a key thing for your academy to really start people off on a good term and they know what to do. So that is a very easy way to set a structure for the employee. Now, I can at all times, whenever I make changes to my academy or make additions, I will be able to follow what it would look like for my end user in the small composer that I have down here. You can already see now that I have my cover photo, I have the title for my academy, and I have a small description for them. So this is really the first thing they see whenever they enter the academy. I'm just going to quickly move to the top again. You will be able to always follow who has access to your academy. We're going to come back to the publish and analytics in a second, but this is for your overview. So whenever you need to go in and check something, you will be able to see who actually have access to your academy. The next principle or important Melissa mentioned was the further settings in your academy. So really, how do you want to structure your academy? So I'm going to click over at the button that is called Edit Settings. So in here, it's really all about the availability of the trainings, the passing score, the whole language settings, the menu, and how everything is going to look. Of course, what I'm going to focus on is the trainings availability. There are different ways of giving people access to your academy. It could be that everything is what we call unlocked at the beginning. This means that all the trainings that you're going to make available in your academy for your employees, they can shuffle around and they can take it in the order they prefer. It could also be that you want to have them follow through a structured path. They need to complete one level before they can move on to the next one. This is something you can control in your academy. So you could, for instance, unlock your academy training by training. So all the bite-sized learnings that you're going to provide your employees with. It could also be that you want to unlock your academy section by section. So there's a small bunch of bite-sized learnings that they need to go through before they can move on to the next section. So this is really your chance of providing your employees with a structured way to go through, an intuitive way to go through their learnings. Good. Let's move on to the actual academy. Now, over here in my small composer, I can scroll a little bit down and you will be able to see what is actually going on in your structure over here. So for instance, I have a few sections. You can see that I have my introduction, I have my rules and information, and I have a small section called ready. The sections then appear as these small separate boxes for your employees so that they can really focus on one thing before they move on to the next one. So very intuitive for them. Within a section, you have all the bite-sized learnings. So for instance, in my introduction, I have the training introduction for my employees. Under the section rules and information, I have 3 different messages or trainings that my employees need to go through. So this is what it would look like for your employees at the very end. Now, so this is basically the overall structure of your academy, and very easy to just plug and play. If you have training in your platform right now, it's just migrating them into here. Within the academy, you can always just drag and drop if you need things to be placed in a different order. But so that is the overall structure. Then next up would be all the actual trainings. We're not going to go too much into details with that today because it's going to come next week. But I just quickly wanted to show you what it could look like. Also, because everything we have in here is a demo that you can get as well. And we are going to come back to how you will get it. But it's just to let you know how the whole bite-sized learning is structured. So whenever I'm in my academy and I need to go back and check out one of my trainings, it's basically just clicking on that training and Actimo will take you to the message. You will always be able to see within your messages that this is part of an academy so that you don't go and change something that is already in play. But this is one of the examples of what Melissa was talking about before. Keeping all the information very short and easy to consume. Make sure that you add some graphics that is even either telling people or showcasing people what you want them to do, and also just to add some nice graphics so that people want to pay more attention to it. So basically, these would be the workplace rules that are important for our people when we want to welcome them back to work. Very easy to go through. Text divided into sections. And down here is the confirm button that Melissa was talking about so that people can actually complete this part of the academy. And this is the way that the whole academy is structured all the way through. Everything is bite-sized, starting out with a video, then moving on to some informational, small bite-sized learnings, and then rounding everything off with a small quiz or tests to know if people understood the message and now know what to do if they feel sick at work, or how to behave on the workplace, where they can sit, all of the stuff that they need to know when they come back to work. There's also a small feedback session before rounding off the academy, welcoming our people back to work. And basically what we would recommend is to make it all social. So the final bite of this, let me just show you, this academy is actually giving people a chance to share their knowledge, or if they have further questions, or providing any feedback with their colleagues in a social setting. So really just rounding it off with everybody being able to communicate. So that was a brief introduction to the academy that we are launching. And as mentioned, and it's just really important for us to mention that we're going to go into a lot more details for all of you about how to set it up and how it works and what you can do. This demo is available for you. We are going to send out guidelines about how you will get it if you want to use this setup to welcome your employees back to work as well. But I'm going to get out of the platform again and back to our slide deck. For a short conclusion and just summing up everything that we've been through today. Very shortly, the whole idea and the principles behind the Actimo Academy that we're launching now is enabling an on-the-job trainer for your remote employees. And the very important thing about it is that everything that they will go through digitally in their employee app merges with the jobs that they are doing every day. So it really gets into their flow of work. For the managers and the CEOs and everybody providing your employees with these academies, it's an easy, flexible, and insightful way of enabling guided and learning experience for the employees. And so everything that is going on out in your employee app will be reflected in your academy, and you will be able to follow progress, compare locations, departments, all of the insights you need. So by working with what Melissa talked about, the mobile learning, the micro learning, and the learning bites, this is we have come up with a setup that will easily provide a welcome back to your employees that we would also like to share with you as a first test of the academy to see how it really works for your employees as well. Where you will also get all the actionable insights to their progress in a smaller setting before you start setting up the much bigger academies that you're going to work with in the future. So we really hope that we have inspired you and that you that we raised your interest around the Actimo Academy with this small learning.
Just a quick note on the source that we used to develop the entire academy way and academy principles that we introduced to you today. So first off, this was worked on with a collaboration with one of our partner, who is Atom Collaboration. So thanks a lot for helping us out. And then some additional research from our side that you can find here, and you can also then find the links on the slides that we're going to share with you and get a bit more into details if you would like to. Now, let's maybe jump to a Q&A session. So I see that we have already one question from Charlotte, who is asking if it is possible to send out a Welcome Back to Work Academy to your employees already next week.
Fortunately, yes, it is. We will, of course, after this session, we will provide you with the recording and all the information that we shared with you. Monday next week, all of this will be possible for you to acquire, set up in your platform. Actually, it's just us setting it up for you, and you can then go ahead and publish and make sure that it's available to all the right people. So yes, you can start this already next week with the setup that we showed you today. And for all your other academies, that is something that is, of course, a work in progress for you. Great.
Any other questions? Maybe while we wait, if someone is typing in the chat here, maybe we can just also mention what is coming soon. So from tomorrow, you will have, or from today, sorry, you will have help desk articles around the academy to support you, work with the academy. So basically, also from Monday, if you have the demo and you need additional knowledge, or you want to know a bit more about the academy and how to publish it to your employees, then take a look at the help desk. And
also, as I mentioned a few times, we will have these upcoming webinars actually focusing a lot more on the whole nitty-gritty parts of the academy. It's going to start next week, so the 27th of May. We are going to host the first session about migrating all the trainings that you are already working with for your employees into the academy. On the 3rd of June, we're going to do another webinar for starting completely from scratch with the academy. So we're going to send you an invite. We're going to elaborate a little bit on what's the contents of the webinars, but there's really a lot of different webinars to attend, either if you already have training or if you want to start from the beginning.
And if you take a look at the chat right now, you can actually get a link so that you can sign up for the events and those webinars.
Great. Did we get any other questions?
No questions.
I have a comment, but I don't know how to raise my hand.
Supports.
Can you hear me?
We will, of course, send you a recording of the session, plus the slides and other notes regarding the demo, if you want to have it on your account. I think.
Yeah, and then we barely scratched the surface, but we also included the links for you to look further into the whole principles behind the academy setup. So there's really a lot to get started on, and hopefully you will attend all the webinars that we're hosting in the coming time, so that you will know everything there is to know about the academy very soon to get started.
I see another question. Will the webinar include how you merge your training into an onboarding flow? Very good question. Thanks, Charlotte. I think we can also take this as an example. But basically, it's going to be either something you have already created and then you can transform into an academy, or just from scratch. And we will need to see what examples the team doing this webinar is gonna come up with. But I'd really encourage you to watch either of them, and then you probably will get enough insights for the whole onboarding flow as well.
Absolutely.
Mia, you can, if you need to speak, you can type in your question in the chat. Otherwise, you can also unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello, 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 hello.
Oh. Sorry, that's on us. Okay, Mia, can you please repeat your question? We were having the sound off.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well.
That's good. Okay, I just had two comments. One is on the length. Actually, I like that you recommend to only have one learning goal per message, you could say, or micro learning bite or something. But I also think if we want to go to a higher level of Bloom's taxonomies, I would actually challenge it a little bit if it can only be 15 minutes. Because I think we can actually, with the diversity of the new Academy module, I think we can do more than just 15 minutes and actually make get deeper into the stuff. And also the thing about only have one page per message, because sometimes you need to give some feedback in order to enhance the learning, I would say. So that's just a little bit of challenging the concept. And we already started, and I just want to share a nice story with you from this morning, because I just sent out a test yesterday for a new Academy module that we have made, and it's called New Dimensions in Sales. And then one of my testers got back to me and said, oh, I really like this name compared with a new academy. So now it's completely new dimensions in both learning and in sales and everything. So just a thumbs up to the new look and feel of this whole academy thing.
Thanks a lot for sharing, Maria. This is very, very nice feedback. We take it we take it with us, and we'll also share with the team, because there's been a lot of work also from our developers and products and teams. So really, we're going to share that with them. And thanks a lot for your feedback. Also regarding the principles and Bloom's taxonomy, I'll definitely also look into this further and see how we can take it to the next level as well. We have an additional question regarding when is the Academy activated? Basically from Monday on, your Academy will be activated on your account. And
we will make sure to notify you whenever it's ready for you and you can go and start working on it. But from Monday on. Great.
All right, I think we're through with the questions. Thanks a lot for joining. Also, thanks a lot for your flexibility and jumping environment and so on. So really, thanks a lot for sticking with us. And we hope you had a great webinar. And yeah, we look forward to hearing more from you. And, have a fantastic day.
Thanks a lot.